Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a 3-time best-selling author and, of course, a Broadway star, musician, and a dad. And the author of several books and, of course, the latest one, Mental Toughness. No other than Mr. Troy Horne.
Thank you so much for having me, Daniel. This is so much fun.
Welcome.
The music. This is awesome.
Welcome, Mr. Troy. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Sure. So my name is Troy Horne. I'm a musician, a dad, an author. And I write books to help people navigate spaces or times in their life that might have been, tough. And this book that's featured right now was actually written to help my young son, who's now, kind of going off to college and playing basketball and stuff like that. So during that time, we just kind of wanted to find something that could help him work on his mindset. And so we couldn't find anything that spoke to kids. Most of the things that were out there were a little bit above his head because he was, 10 or 11, at the time, 12 at the time. And so instead of trying to relay the message to him, we wrote one. And it's helped over hundreds of thousands of young athletes all over the world. It's been really cool. I guess a lot of people were looking for a book that kids could read and also help them with their mindset. And so we created it, and that's how we got here. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Troy.
Thank you.
Yes, and looking forward for more and more empowering books like this to come. And let's talk about Mental Toughness.
Sure.
What was the missing piece you observe in youth sports coaching that motivate you to write a book focused specifically on mental toughness for the age group?
Yeah, so at the time that we're going through it, I was really big into self-help and personal development before this book. And so a lot of times I would see, coaches say, hey, you've got to want it. Or, I'm sure parents out there, you've got to want it. You've got to be hungry. To a 10 or 11, 12-year-old, it's like, what exactly does that mean? I've got to want it. I've got to be hungry. It's like, I'm 10. I just, learned how to start walking a few moments ago. So I saw that people weren't really addressing the mindset part of sports at the time when we wrote this book. And so this was kind of a call to a moment where, I saw my son kind of losing just the joy. He was really young. I mean, he loves basketball so much that, he was dancing on the side on the free throw line whenever they were doing it because he was just so happy to be out there. And I saw some of that go away with, just being introduced to youth sports on a competitive level, and I wanted to help him bring it back. And so I used some of the things that I learned in personal development in my own life. And I just talked with him through this book, which is why why we both kind of created it. Because I was like, I know what I think the experience is, but is this the experience that you're having? And he would say, yes. Or we would say, no, that's not really it. You need to rewrite that because that's not really how it works. So that's how we got, here to this book and how it became, a bestseller that's helped, hundreds of thousands of young athletes. So that's been really cool. They're really cool.
Mr. Troy, how do you define a mental toughness for an 8-year-old versus a 16-year-old? Is it
Mm.
some of the, or is it the same, or does it evolve as they mature?
I would say it's kind of the same, but it also evolves because in the beginning at 8 and 9 and 10, it's like you've had some things that you think are struggles, but you really haven't. You've had to work through some things, but you really haven't. So in the beginning, I think it's really learning tools that help you work through those difficult times, to help you overcome mental barriers on your journey towards whatever goal it is that you want to have, whether you're a swimmer, a boxer, netball player, which we found, cricket. We have tennis players, we have horse jumpers, we have rodeo, barrel racers, all these, anyways, F1 racers. So it's basically just learning at the beginning, once you have those things that pop up and can be mental barriers, how to work through them at the younger age. Once you become 16, 15, 17, it transforms from how to work through new things to how to work through things that might have been placed in your mind by other people, other teammates, and how to overcome mental barriers that might have been placed from external forces or external ideas. So that's how I would say it evolves over time.
Mental toughness, if you compare your upcoming book, is it the same?
So middle management, which is the book that's coming up, middle management it's about, okay, so you've done the parenting thing and you're still helping your kid do their stuff or your children do their stuff, but you start to realize I have some things that I want to do. And middle management is about, getting to that 40 something year old stage in life where you realize you had a bunch of plans for the first half. You knew what you wanted to do. You had some goals. You set out and reached them or you didn't. You had some career things that you did or you didn't. But you wake up around 40, 45 or whatever, and you're like, okay, I really didn't make any big plans for the second half. What am I going to do with this? And I went through that, kind of like, what do I want to do for the second half? Sometimes it's the same thing that you were doing the first half. Sometimes it's not. For me, it's not. For me, it's, wanting to write more books to kind of help more people. In the first half, I was a musician. So it's basically based off the research and things that I went through to make that pivot and go all in on the new thing that I wanted to do in the second half of life. And how other people have done it too. It's not just a memoir about myself. It's about some research study that on other people who have gone through similar situations and how hopefully the readers can tie this to their own lives and use it to help them find their greater second half of life.
Looking forward for that new book, Mr. Troy, and please do come over on Book 101 Review and let's talk about it once it published.
Oh, I would love that.
Yes, please do so. So why is the 5-minute structure so critical for making mindset training accessible for sustainable for kids and teens with busy schedules and short attention spans?
Yeah, 5 minutes is really, a great thing for them to kind of introduce them to the ideas of it. Now, obviously, once they become more used to it, they can do it longer than 5 minutes, like meditating or visualizing. But a lot of those things it's great to introduce them in smaller segments. So it's not this huge feat that now that these youngsters at 11, 12, 13, 14 have to do. It's like, we're going to set a timer. It's something totally manageable, which will probably still feel like an eternity to you at your young age, but it's totally doable and measurable. So that's why I put them in 5-minute things, because I was doing something with my son when he was younger, about 3 to 5 minutes as far as meditation or visualization, and then they start getting antsy. So it's like, okay, we've got to make sure that it's, again, something that they can do and it's measurable and it's applicable to them at their age.
Every young athlete deals with nerves. Which of your 5-minute exercise is the most effective for calming, for pre-game anxiety? And can you walk us through as a simplified version of it?
Yeah, now for me, visualization is my favorite one of all of them. And what I love to do with that is visualize myself having the success that I want. And oftentimes when you do that, sometimes you struggle with visualizing the success you want. And so sometimes there's a story about Michael Phelps who visualized things going wrong and still swimming through it and winning. So, just visualizing and seeing and working through problems before you do them is definitely my favorite one for nerves and anxiousness before a game. Yeah.
Mr. Troy, what is the key exercise you teach to help athletes quickly reset their mindset after a strikeout? A missed call? Yes, a missed goal or error in the field to prevent one mistake from sinking the entire game.
Yeah. We talk to our kids all the time, and it's always about you need to let go of the mistakes, have a short memory, as
Yes.
Jerry Rice used to say. It's like once you have a success, have a short memory. If you have a failure, have a short memory. That play is over. That shot is missed. That strikeout has already happened. Let it go and move to the next one. So I would say, the biggest thing is having a short memory would be one of the things that I would encourage athletes to do.
Yes, let it go and learn from that,
Right.
people.
But both of them. When it's
Yeah.
good and when it's bad. You just had a great home run. Great, let it go. Enjoy that moment, let it go. Don't and that way, whenever you have good or bad moments, you learn to mentally, observe that moment, but then also move on to the next one.
Very well said, Mr. Troy. Truly, truly empowering. I like that. Truly. I will apply to myself. Let it go.
That's
How do you
awesome.
visualize? Oh, yes. How do you make visualization a technique used by a pro athlete? Simple, concrete, and effective for a child who might struggle with abstract thinking.
Guided visualization. So maybe, if they're struggling with, instead of just sitting down and say, see yours, go visualize for 5 minutes, giving them actual things to see. See yourself, hitting the ball and getting to first base. See yourself swimming successfully through the lap. So telling them what to see initially when they're younger is a great way to kind of introduce this to a younger athlete. Yeah.
So one of the biggest challenges is dealing with criticism. What exercise helps a young athlete listen to constructive feedbacks without internalizing it as a personal attack or shutting down?
Yes. So I always tell my kids, it's like, I'm going to be honest with you all the time and being that resource for them as their parents or their, or their coach or guardian or whatever. But saying, look, I'm going to tell you when it's good and I'm going to tell you when it's bad. And that way, that I care about you on all aspects of what you're doing. So one of the things that I like to tell them, I go, and this is something my parents told me, which is, you should be happy when someone is talking to you about how you can do better. Because if they're not talking to you, that's when you should be concerned. When the parent or the coach is not saying, hey, you should try to do this with your swing, you should try to do that, that's when the concern should come in, because then it's a point to where they don't know that you can actually have the ability to do that. And I always tell my kids, it's like, if you have a baby crawling around on the ground and they stand up and fall down, you're not going to say, what's wrong with you? Why are you still crawling? It's like, stand up. No, because they can't, they can't walk. So they're learning how to walk. So if you're like helping them hold their hands, or you're saying, oh, great, put your left foot forward or your right foot, or, you're giving them instruction, is because you believe they still have the ability. So I would say, whenever you're receiving something that feels like criticism from whomever, know this person is giving it to you in most cases because they believe you can do better. So receive it as something that they're saying, oh, great, you can actually do this, so let's work on making this better, as opposed to a personal attack on yourself.
Is there one exercise or tip from the book that parents can use themselves for a better support for their athletes from sideline without adding to the pressure?
I would say speaking into existence what you want to see. I think parents, in a way of trying to protect their kids, will often do things. Well, that's not really realistic, or that's not really probable. We become statisticians, as they say, and those things I think are things that we need to learn, maybe not to do so much, and instead speak what we want to see, into these children. Because what are the odds of any of the greats that we've seen becoming greats? It's like if we ran the math on a kid from where was it LeBron from uh Cleveland, Ohio, or something like that,
Cleveland, yeah.
What are the stats on a kid from Cleveland who has no money, growing up in a medium to low income neighborhood, becoming one of the greatest basketball players in the world? What are the odds of that? So now imagine if, he's 9 years old playing basketball and he's like, I want to be great at this. And someone's like, no, that's not possible. Do you know how many people come from Cleveland? You know how many, look at our team. It's like we start doing all that other stuff. It's like that can keep a lot of kids from being the great that they are. What are the odds of two, not just one, but two sisters coming from Compton in LA and becoming tennis greats with a dad who never played tennis at the highest level? It's like we need to start speaking into, of course, those people are Venus and Serena Williams. We need to start speaking into our children what we want to see and what we want to have happen, as opposed to coming with all the stats and the realistics this and the probabilities that's and all those things. So I would say the one thing I would say for parents is speaking the reality you want to see into existence.
Mr. Troy, as an author and musician, a Broadway star, a dad, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Now my short-term goal is to release this book, Middle Management, and I made a little free download for people. It's at middlemanagement.bio. You can get a free download there, but it's really to share and help people navigate different parts of their lives. Hopefully I'll be a voice out there that can help them through some tough times, or help them figure out times that are a little confusing for them. So that's the goal, is to be an author that shares those thoughts with people all over the world.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Troy, and looking forward for more success.
Yay, that'd be great.
Yes, what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
I would say, whatever it is, if you have an idea or you have it in your mind that you want to do something, don't let anyone, including yourself, tell you that it's impossible for you. Because again, everything that people do that people feel, is great or amazing or industry changing or industry shifting or whatever, if you ran the numbers on that person, that specific person being able to do it, it would be pretty much impossible. Yet they did it. So anything you have a vision that you want to do or a dream that you want to do, go after it. Don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible or improbable. So that's what I would tell them.
Just do it, people.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yes.
Just like Mr. Troy Horne. He did it. He did it for sure. 3-time best-selling author for sure. And more and more best-selling piece to come.
Yes.
And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Ooh, books that have influenced me. Actually, there's a great book out right now called Who Better Than You by Will Power. I love that book. There's another book called You've Got to Be Hungry, but you said one, so I'm going to go with Who Better Than You.
Who Better Than You? Okay. You can add more if you want, Mr. Troy.
Okay. So then the first book that I ever read in this whole self-help world was called Think and Grow Rich. Love that book. That book has been absolutely amazing. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which is also an amazing book. You've Got to Be Hungry by Les Brown. Those would be the ones that I would say, some great reading for you right there. Yeah.
Thank you for that recommended books, Mr. Troy. And how can a volunteer club or school coach who is not a mental performance expert easily implement one of these exercises into a practice plan?
Yeah. So, obviously in the book, we kind of go through some simple ways that you can do them yourself. And so, that would be kind of the best way, kind of reading the book and then implementing, because there's some pretty easy ways on how to implement them in there. So that would be one thing that I would suggest. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
And what's one of your favorite success stories of young athlete who use these techniques and saw a dramatic turnaround in their performance or enjoyment?
I would say that young man on the cover right there, that's my son. His name was Moses Horne. And it's funny because after, when he was having a tough time just kind of just doing it as, because he was a kid, he's like 10, 11, 12 years old or whatever. And all these things were coming in. But once we started doing these exercises, it really helped him find his, his own way. And the turnaround was really cool. He became the kid that everyone wanted on their team. They were, he was one of the leading people on, in his organization. So I would say the most fun as a dad was watching my own son, Moses, kind of use these tools and turn them into great things for himself.
Yes, for sure. So, what is the most important life skill? Resilience, focus, emotional control that this exercise teaches, and how does it transfer to a classroom or home life?
Yeah. Wow. What is the most important? Let's get a rank from all the top. I would say the most important thing is to continue to keep going, to keep showing up. That's the most important thing, because there are going to be ups and there are going to be downs. There are going to be good times and bad times. But to continue to show up and to keep going is the number one thing, no matter what is happening in your life. And that transfers to classroom as well. Like, you have a tough time with your studies. How do you keep showing up? How do you keep going, as opposed to saying, oh, I can't do it, and then giving up? That would be the one thing, how to continue to keep going no matter what it looks like, good or bad.
Good or bad, for sure. And Mr. Troy, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in its fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Troy, if a parent listening right now or people watching right now who wants to start today, what is the absolute first 5 minute exercise you would have them to do with their young athlete tonight?
The first one would be the absolute visualization is, again, it's my favorite one. Sitting there and visualizing what you want to happen is my absolute favorite exercise to do. So, set a timer, whether, it's on your phone or something like that, and guide them through 5 minute visualization would be the number one thing that I would say to do.
Likewise. I like that, Mr. Troy. Visualize. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thank you.
Hoping for more empowering masterpiece or best-selling piece to come. So can you please invite our listeners to support your upcoming book, and as well as your 3-time best-selling books that out already?
Yes, so you can always find us online at Mental Toughness on Amazon. It's available at Mental Toughness for Athletes. And check us out at middlemanagement.bio for the free download to begin that journey for that part. So there you go.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Troy Horne, because if you support him, for sure, more and more best-selling books to come. So, Mr. Troy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.